disclaimer here. The Great Lakes Vintage Motorcycle Enthusiast is a Facebook community of like-minded vintage motorcycle enthusiasts. Now, you don't have to own a vintage motorcycle to be a part of the group. You could just have an interest in them, be enthusiastic about them, or maybe it is your dream to one day own a vintage motorcycle. You know, there's something special about owning a vintage motorcycle that you really can't capture with today's modern motorcycles. You really have to get intimate with your bikes, hands-on, whether it's adjusting the valves or tuning the carburetors, something different. And trying to find parts can sometimes be a challenge to keep these vintage babies running. But there's something very satisfying about doing so and planting your butt in the seat of one of these vintage motorcycles, pulling into a gas station or a restaurant, and all of the comments and the looks and the questions that you get. How old is the bike? What kind of a bike is that? And you inevitably hear the stories about, oh, when I was young I had this bike, or my father had that bike, and you get the stories. And you know, a vintage motorcycle is really a great conversation starter, so you can add that to the joy of owning a vintage motorcycle. I think it was Rockefeller who was once asked, how many millions is enough? Well, his response was, the next million, and then the next one. And I guess you could ask the same about owning vintage motorcycles. How many are enough? Well, my wife and I right now own 4, and that could easily be more if our enthusiasm got too great. But the fact is, whether you own 20 or just 1, the feeling of pride, of ownership is the same. There is something special about owning a vintage motorcycle, and that's why I started Great Lakes Vintage Motorcycle Enthusiasts, the Facebook community. Go check us out on Facebook. But with that being said, I want to do kind of a montage of the motorcycles, the vintage babies, owned by our members of the Great Lakes Vintage Motorcycle Enthusiast group on Facebook. So with that, enjoy the video. Bye for now.